It's late over here. It's a little past midnight where I am. I'm tired and I'm pissed off. And I know I usually never upload anything this late, and I know a lot of people won't see it because it's so late, but whatever. Screw it. I'll just put it up now, and whoever sees it. And I don't want to disrupt the Seahawks videos for this. Mariners don't deserve the daytime video rotation. So I waited a couple hours before I started doing this, making this video, because I didn't want it to be like a rant, because that's not really the way I like to do things. I don't really get ranty about stuff. There's a certain way I like to go about doing things here on YouTube. But if there was ever a circumstance that warranted a rant from me, it would be this one. I mean, do you guys realize what's going on here? Like, really? Do you guys really grasp what has gone on with the Mariners over the last month? I feel like because it happens drip by drip every day, you don't realize what's going on. This is like Miracle at the Meadowlands 2.0. This is like the Broncos blowing that 18-point lead against Washington a couple weeks ago. This is a catastrophic blown choke. I'm not even gonna say blown. It's just a choke that we are in the middle of watching right now, and I feel like we as fans that are just watching day to day do not grasp how bad this is. So earlier, well, yesterday now, because it's technically the next day. Yesterday, game of the year, most important game of the season by far. Have to win it. You win it, you're probably good for it. And don't get me wrong, guys. I know this team isn't doing anything in the playoffs, but it would have been nice to have made it. It would have been nice to maybe get in there and have something break your way to where you can at least advance around and at least get a home playoff game again, maybe at least get a little bit of some good feeling going forward into the off season, some kind of belief that what you did this season was at least a little bit worth it. I know we weren't going to do anything, but it's the game of the year at home. You've basically been vomiting all over yourselves for the whole month, but here's a chance to set it all right where you win this game, you're in good shape. And who played well? Like I guess Crawford and Suarez, they did their job. Crawford and Suarez. A couple other guys did okay, I guess. I'll give credit to Rojas. Um, I guess Spear worked himself out of a jam from the bullpen, but guys, the fact that we're in this situation right now where we could legitimately, I think it's possible that we win out, which we're not going to do, but we could win out and still miss the playoffs. It's I just hope people, here's what I'm really trying to hammer home here, guys. There was a point about a month ago where the Mariners had a 96% playoff odd on Baseball Reference. It was about a month ago. I remember looking at it and going, wow, that seems high, but the math doesn't lie. We were 96% to make the playoffs. After that game, I haven't looked at the new odds. The new odds aren't out yet because the game just ended a couple hours ago. I'm guessing it's like in the 20s. Do you guys understand how bad that is? Do you guys understand how awful that is? And that's a month worth of incompetent play. Don't get me wrong, but last night Julio probably plays his worst game of the year, and he's played some bad ones. Just awful. Just four swinging strikeouts. Kind of sort of blew a play in the outfield on that one circumstance. Where it's Teoscar's error, but Julio still lets the ball get behind him. Probably didn't really matter that much, but still. Probably Julio's worst game of the year. You need your star for the most important game of the year, and he's up there swinging at things 3 feet out of the zone, and he's letting middle cement mixer sliders go. Just, I know it's just one game, but it's the most important game of the year. How can you not look at that and go, there's something very fundamentally wrong here? There's something very fundamentally wrong with this team that is supposed to be built around having this amazing pitching staff and bullpen. That's the idea, right? We've got Jerry DePoto here because he's so good at finding pitchers and we're so good at developing them. And in the biggest game of the year, you've got Bryce Miller, who's a terrible matchup for most really good offenses, gives you four pretty bad innings, and then you're going to your bullpen guys. You're just looking at these guys thinking, man, I don't have faith in any of these guys except for Brash, and Brash pitched 2 innings last night, so you can't even count on him, and you try to go to him, and he gives up a bunch of stuff because, of course, he did, because you used him for 2 innings last night. And it's like, where is everything? Where is this amazing bullpen? Where is this amazing pitching staff? Um, it's just, I don't know, there's no real purpose behind this video other than to just pseudo rant. It's not a real rant. I know a rant would involve me throwing things and yelling. I'm not going to do that. If you want to catch that sometime, go watch me on Twitch during a Mariners game. You'll usually find it if things aren't going well. There'll be a little bit of a rant in there, but I mean, Julio, obviously, Teoscar, I mean, my God, probably another guy who played his worst game of the year in the most important game of the year. The just absolute inability to drive runners home. We could have won this game even with the pitching crap with how many times we got runners on in scoring position in the first half of this game. Maybe like the first 6 or 7 innings. Actually, what am I saying? The whole game. Runners in scoring position, can't get anybody home. Only guy who comes in clutch is Suarez. So, it happens so much lately, it feels like it can't just be random variance. I'm a big fan, I'm a big believer in the idea that hitting with runners on and BABIP, stuff like that is just random variance. Sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's not. But with how little success we've been having lately, it feels like it has to be more than that. Julio being completely inept in clutch situations at home this year is so bad. It feels like it can't just be random variance. There has to be an actual cause. And I'm just, it's just disappointing. It's disappointing that this Mariners team is going to have a worse record than they did last year. It's kind of unbelievable because I think this team should be better. This team has every reason to be better. Full season of Castillo. We're getting season 3 from Gilbert. We're getting second season, a full season from Kirby. You're adding guys like Teoscar to the lineup, who has been a plus bat. You're getting a much better version of Kelenic. Whatever you want to say about Kelenic this year, make whatever jokes you want to. He's clearly better than he was last year. And somehow you're going to end up with less wins. And just the whole lead up to this whole thing where you're playing terrible in September. Like, okay, August is unsustainable. Understandable, that's fine. But you're playing awful in September. But the Astros and Rangers are sucking too, keeping you in it. Like, the Astros are losing to the Athletics and the Royals to keep you in it. And you still can't get it done. Like think about this for a second. The Astros have been getting beat badly by Oakland and Kansas City, and then they used the Mariners to get right. They used the Mariners to get right from the stupor that Kansas City and Oakland had them in. Think about that for a second. What does that say about us? I mean, we got this great record against Oakland and Kansas City this year, but you'd swear that those teams have a little more heart, and those teams have nothing to play for. Oakland doesn't even really have a team to play for because they're losing their team next year to Las Vegas, and they're still, just it's such a disheartening 3-game series. You take one of 3, you win the game a couple days ago. Kirby pitches great, offense comes alive, great, cool, awesome. Duly noted. That first game, the crowd is going crazy. Everybody's amped up. Everybody knows this is what it's all about. Whoever wins this series probably gets in. Everybody's all excited. And your ace, your supposed ace, who you traded the farm for, who you gave that extension to, just, ugh. You could have gotten that exact same game for Brian Wu, probably. You could have put Brian Wu, rookie, out there and probably gotten the same level of production that you got out of Castillo in that game. Like, that was the biggest game of the year before this game. Like, every game in this series has been the biggest game of the year. So Castillo goes out there, you need it, and he just gets whipped. And your whole lineup is just getting abused. You're not even making Verlander work. Verlander's this close to going a full game on you. Really? Just, and of course, you already know this offseason, you know what they're going to try to sell you on. Oh, we had a winning record. We've had winning records for 3 years in a row. We've got all these young guys. We lost all our pitchers. All our pitchers got hurt. Our pitchers wore down. Kelnick broke his foot. Even though we played our best baseball when Kelnick was out anyway, so that really shouldn't even be a thing. Our winning streaks were both with Kelnick out, so it's not like we lost a bunch of games because we didn't have him. Blah 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 blah. Oh, we're not spending money. We don't need to spend money. That's not how we do things. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. And then they're not going to give Jerry the assets he needs to work with, and we're just going to do this again, it feels like. Because next year, Houston will probably be better. I don't know why Houston was so lackluster this year, but they'll probably be better. Texas will be better. Oakland has to be better because you can't go anywhere but up from where they are. And this great opportunity will go to waste. Last thing I want to say in this incoherent mess of a video that I probably shouldn't upload, but I will. Scott. I've been pro Scott ever since he got here. I've liked Scott ever since he got here. I thought he did a great job last year. I thought he did a great job 2 years ago. Neither of those teams were that good, and I thought Scott was a part of the reason why we managed to gut out successful seasons. So I've always been on Scott's side, but I don't know how you could do worse than what Scott did this year. I know he's not working with the greatest roster because our owner doesn't want to spend money, and it's not his fault that we gave him Colton Wong and AJ Pollock to work with for part of the season. Like, yeah, that's on other people, but how many games in a row can you put Ty France out there before you realize you are wasting everyone's time with him? He is the most useless player in Major League Baseball. He is, over the last several months, this has been going on for a while now, he's been about as good as Colton Wong was. No power, no speed. What does that leave you with? It leaves you with somebody who literally can't do anything. I think these opposing pitchers are trying to make a point with Ty France. They throw him nothing but middle fastballs sometimes, and he can't do anything with them. Put Mike Ford out there. Put Canzone out there. Literally anything else would be better. It has become an insult that you play France every night. Some of these lineups are a mess. I know you don't have the best stuff to work with, but for the love of God, why isn't Rojas starting tonight? He's been one of your better players recently. Get him out there. Don't just pinch hit him halfway through. Don't worry about playing the matchup so much. Like, who cares? Dylan Moore kind of sucks against everybody right now. Like, Dylan Moore's batting average is below 210 right now, I think. So, he sucks against everybody right now. Don't worry about matchups. Just get your best players out there. Get Kelnick out there. At least I feel like he's got a chance to do something good when he goes out there. All the bullpen crap he's done, all the pitching mismanagement he's done this year, we're in this game. It's a must-win game. He has to know it's a must-win game. And I know we're already down 4 runs and the game's over, but he puts Thornton out there. It's like, what is this, the white flag? In a game you have to win? So I'm done with Scott. I gotta say, I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I think we've learned that Scott is a great manager when your team is just mediocre. But when your team is actually good, he can't get the most out of them. That's where I feel like we are right now with Scott. And I've always been in his corner, so that's hard for me to say. All right. Something good can still happen over the next 4 games, but I'm definitely not expecting anything. The Rangers, it's a horrible matchup for the Mariners. I don't see anything good happening. We got Wu going tomorrow. He's probably just going to go ahead and end it real quick because Wu, bless his heart, terrible matchup against these Rangers who are going to eat his fastball for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this time tomorrow, we'll probably know that it's over. So I'll make another video after the season, after game 162. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about if there's anything new to say. But I just had to vent a little bit because this whole month has been this brutal, disgusting inability to close. But this final 10 game stretch where you put yourself in a position to at least get in, at least make this season worth something, and then you get smacked around by Texas, which, okay, that's a bad matchup. You're in Texas. I can have some sympathy for that, but then Houston uses you to get their heads on straight after the garbage baseball they've been playing. They decide, oh, let's go into Seattle and use them as our springboard. That's what we just let happen. And this isn't a situation like last year where I could look at us losing that playoff series to Houston and going, oh, Houston's a really good team. Houston has not been a really good team this year. They may not get to 90 wins. That has been a very vulnerable team that you have done really well against this year, and now it means nothing. It's just disgusting. It's just completely disgusting. And I don't know where we go from here. There is nothing in the farm system that is going to save us next year. The farm system, we've got great stuff coming in 2025 and 2026. 2025, 2026 farm prospects are going to be awesome. But there is nothing that is going to come up and save us next year. So spend your money now or forever announce to the world that you care more about your profit margins than this team actually winning. Because next year, the division's going to be more difficult. Suarez is going to be another year older. You might lose Teoscar, and I don't know if anybody would even be that sad about it. You got to replace France. If you trot France out as the day one starter at first base next year, then I think that's going to basically be a white flag in and of itself. And it's already like part of me is already like thinking 2025. Like 2024 already kind of feels like it's going to be like some kind of a gap year. So gross. Really, really gross that we couldn't take advantage of this situation. See you guys later. Go Mariners. 4 games against the team that you suck against.